Morning everybody. This video is created by Yogesh Sharma. In this video you will learn that how we can do a component programming in ASP.NET using C#. A component programming is that you will make some functions in your and class file, and you can use that class file or functions of that class file in your web application web pages. So let's find out that how we can do this. First of all, you have to create a class, then you can use add new item. You will select class, and my class name is class1.cs. This is my default name and I don't want to change this name. Okay, now you will click on add, and yes, actually the window has had prompt and asks to yes and no. Actually that window asks to the user that do you want to put that class in your app code folder or outside of app code folder. I think that developer should choose to put your file in app code folder, because if you put your file or class file in your app code folder, that class file will compile first and the compiled output will store on your database. So let's find out that how we can do this, and how we can do component programming. And class 1 is my component where I will put some functions over here, and these functions can be used by another web page. So I will put some two default namespaces which provide SQL data interface, SQL client, and using system.data. These are my default database namespaces. Namespaces are logical grouping of classes. So I will make connection with my database. That's why I will use SQL connection. So I don't want to repeat it again, because I told you that how we can create connection. I'm using my old code over here, SQL connection con SQL connection, where I will create a connection with my database name. My database name is hospital MIS integrated security equal to SSCI, right? So I will take some another classes also, SQL data adapter, SQL command, CMD, SQL command, then dataset, DS, new dataset, then SQL data reader, DR. So I am writing a method to retrieve data by using dataset. I am putting a user defined function select DS which will return dataset value, and I will take string SQL. This is my parameter name. First of all, I will check the connection state. To implement this, we have con.state equal to connection state dot open, right? Then I will select con.close. If its connection is already open, that's why you have to first of all you have to close it, and another method will con.open. If it is not already open, then you have to open it. So I am putting that which command I want to execute in your SQL server, that you will select cmd.command text equal to SQL. This is my parameter name. Then cmd which connection you will use to implement this code or command. You will use cmd.connection equal to con. We can take multiple connection where I will put some another database name or connectivity, right? So da.select command, it is my data adapter. I will put the cmd data or SQL command data in my data adapter. Then da.fill method, da.fill, then ds, right? And connection.close, it will close my connection, and I will return ds. ds is my data set. As I told you that return type of this function is data set. Data set, it means that it will return some table, right? So in another video you will see that how we can implement this function in your source code. So I am here taking grid view control to show your data in grid form. That's why we use generally grid form. So as we know that .NET is a object oriented programming, that's why you have to create an object of your component, and this is a component C. If not is post back. This property is asked to the user that you are posting some data to the server or not. If you write any URL, then it means that you are not submitting some data to the server. You are just requesting for a web page, that's why is post back in an initial condition, or if you are writing the URL, the is post back property is false. And I put here not operator, and you know that the false to not, if you operate false, if you operate your not operator on your false condition, then it will make it true, right? So I am going to make a fill grid method. In this fill grid method, I will get some data from dataset and pass it in grid view control. So I will write here grid view 1 dot data source equal to c dot select ds. This is my database name, and select a stick from which table you want to get. You can take the table name, doctor registration. Sorry, I will take another table which is patient registration, because there are so many rows available over here and I can remove them. Okay, so to show your grid view data, you have to use grid view 1 dot data bind. So if you click on this view in browser, then you will retrieve the patient registration data from the database table. Okay, so this is my output where I have all the information of my users, and I have these fields. So let's start how we can implement another methods like execute non-query and execute scalar. To implement them, we will make another functions, like if you want to execute your execute scalar method. The main use of execute scalar is that if you want to retrieve a single data from the database, then you will use execute scalar. Like you can take an example. We have some aggregate functions like average, count, minimum, maximum. These are some system defined functions, and these functions get a single data from the database table. That's why I am using return type as a string, and method name is, as you know, that this is a user defined method name, and I am taking here select sc. Okay, so each commands or these are same, and I don't want to repeat it again. Okay, so you will take in a variable where we will execute a scalar return object. That's why I have to create into, I have to convert in a string, and I put two string methods and count dot close, then return v, right? So in this example, I will take total number of records by click on button. So this button click event will take the and fetch the total number of records from the database table. So I will put here command select count asterisk from, sorry, my table name is tbl underscore patient registration, right? So we know that it will return a single value because count asterisk return the number of rows in your database table. Okay, so label 1 dot text equal to c dot select sc and s, and you can see the final output view in browser. If you click on this, that total number of records are 8. So this is my another method by which you can implement it, and I'm going to create another method also, which is used to insert, update or delete your SQL commands or delete rows from the table. So execute non-query return void, sorry, it will return nothing. That's why I am using here void string SQL, right? These commands are same. Then cmd dot execute non-query. con dot close. So if you want to implement this, then you have to take in a table. I will take some parameters and a button which will insert some data, insert into my table name is TVL patient registration, and I want insert in 2 fields only, because this table have more fields, and you can username, implement username and password. Okay, plus equal to values text of 1 dot text plus text of 2 dot text plus. Okay, then c dot execute query and s and response dot write data has been submitted. Okay, so you can see this, the output of this method, that how it can execute. Okay, Jan is my username and Mass is my password. So you will see the final output. What if you don't refresh this table? If you click on this table, patient registration, you will see the output that John Mass has been inserted in your application. Okay, this is the output. So if you want to change, you won't change in your grid view also, then you can use fill grid method. It will refresh your table and you can see the final output like zone 1 2 3 and mask 1 2 3. If you click on this, then you will see the final output. Thank you watching